Hello and welcome back. We are going to set you a new challenge linked to an industry sector. So we're going to explore mechatronics, which in the engineering and manufacturing industries are you demonstrating your knowledge and understanding of both mechanisms, pneumatics, hydraulics and electronics. Now, because you haven't got the kit at home that you would normally find in an engineering and manufacturing environment, we are going to explore this principle using materials and tools that you may find at home. If any of these materials you haven't got access to, please do get in touch and we will find a way of getting those materials to you. So the first challenge is to design and build a robotic arm to lift and move an object. So the company that is linked to this challenge is called Bauromat, and they are experts within the robotics field and they are based in Telford. So as you can see here in this example, we have built a robotic arm that moves, but it moves using a syringe, which when I pull that part out, that is filled with air, and that air will give us energy to move different mechanisms. So we are going to be using air for this example, but what you could do is fill this with water, which would give you fluid power, which is similar to hydraulics. So let me just show you the example that we have made. So this is a robotic arm and it is powered using a levered mechanism. So if I just show you how this first arm works, if I push that syringe in there, the air is moving through the tube and it's helping the lever move. If I then have a go at showing you the next arm and how that moves, I've got a separate system here moving the second arm, and then I've got a third system moving the grabber. Now that's not functioning. Oh, there you go, as well as I'd like, so it needs a little bit of tinkering. So that is your challenge, to see if you can make a robotic arm using tools and equipment that we can easily get access to within the home. So the tools that you'll need for this challenge, just so you can see whether you have the right tools to take part, are your basic engineering tools. Now, you must need a ruler. Every engineer needs to understand how to measure, but you need a ruler that's got millimetres on it because we are going to be measuring in millimetres. You might need to use a tool to measure and mark out angles. In this case, the angle I've used is 90 degrees, so I've used a set square. If you've got any acute or obtuse angles, you can obviously use a protractor, which you should have at home. Hopefully you've all got a pencil at home and it's a sharp one. This one's a mechanical pencil, but any pencil will do. And then you're going to need basic equipment to cut and shape your card. So a pair of scissors. If you have this at home, but don't panic, you don't need it at home, a craft knife. So a craft knife will allow you to model with better precision. So basic craft knife that you can get from the likes of Hobbycraft or the Range. You must use a cutting mat when using a craft knife for safety reasons, so that the material doesn't slip and you're cutting the board rather than the table. And the other thing that you need to use for safety reasons is a safety ruler. So the difference between a normal ruler and a safety ruler is that it's got a ridge there, so that if you slip when using the knife, you cut the ruler rather than your finger. So it would be useful if you've got these tools. So that's your minimum tools. For assembling, it would be ideal if you have a glue gun. Now the glue gun I'm using is low melt. You can use standard hot melt, but you just need to make sure you assess the risk. A burn from a low melt is not as dangerous as a burn from a normal standard glue gun, so a little bit safer. So there's a low melt glue gun. Again, you can get one of these from Hobbycraft. If you haven't got a glue gun, we do need to figure out how you might join key parts, but you could use some double-sided tape. Now, the other tools that I've got are secateurs for cutting kebab skewers. You don't need those. You can do the same job with a pair of scissors. And then I've got some pliers and some manipulators for wire. But if you haven't got a wire, as an engineer, you need to think, and as a designer, what alternative material can I use around the home? And that's what we're looking for, really, for you to innovate. So this is an example. Can you do this? Could you innovate and do it with different materials that you might have access to at home? Now, so those are the tools and equipment that you need. In terms of materials, you will need syringes to obviously replicate that pneumatic system, so that airflow, and you will need a 3mm tube. So like I say, if you haven't got access to these, please do get in touch with us and we will find a way of supporting you by providing these materials for you. So we've got syringes and tubes. Cable ties are really very useful for connecting the syringes to the kebab skewers, but there are lots of alternatives you can use if you don't have those at home as well. And then kebab skewers, which you can buy from most supermarkets, really useful for modelling. And the other standard material is corrugated cardboard, which hopefully, if you've done any online shopping recently, you should be able to access cardboard from those boxes. So this cardboard's quite thin. If you can get thicker cardboard, it will make it a bit easier. But what I've done is I've layered up the cardboard to strengthen it. So that's an introduction to the task. If you want to get involved in this task, please listen on and we'll explain stage by stage how you might be able to manufacture something similar. But if your skill set is quite low, please feel free to replicate. If you've got quite a high skill set, we'd like you to make this but better and really innovate. That's what we're looking for, the next most innovative engineer. So keep on listening if you want to find out more. If you feel that you can have a go based on the instruction card that you can download, that's fine.